This is our last video because this is the end of our 6-month trip. Where are we now?
We're back in Sydney.
Back in Sydney, yeah. So after 6 long months, we're back here, we're catching up with friends and family, and this is our last video for this trip, but it's not our last video because we're going to do more trips, aren't we?
Yes. So just talk about from Coen to the tip and then along the coast back to Sydney.
We finally made it to the very tip, the most northern part of Australia, Cape York, and it was a long drag, tough drive up here, eh?
Yes, but it's really worth it.
Yeah, one of those things on the bucket list. Been thinking about doing this for 8 or 10 years and finally got around to doing it. The time was right, the conditions were right, the team was right.
Yes.
And here we are. So it was a lot of fun. Now we're going to make our way back slowly but surely back to Sydney. Yeah, so the last video we were in Coen. We had a few nights there, a very nice little spot, and then we started heading up towards the tip, up to Cape York. Now everyone warned us about the corrugations, the state of the road. The first few hours or the first day or so, it didn't seem too bad, did it?
Now when we get to Laura, which is pretty much all Batman Road, and start from Laura, they start to have the beginning session of the corrugation, which is not too bad.
So we just pulled over after a few kilometres of dirt road and corrugations, and we're just going to check out the caravan, see how much dirt or dust has got in, and also if anything's fallen off the walls or onto the floor or got broken. Let's check it out.
Oh, pretty good. No dust, everything is quite messy, but nothing falling off. Oh, good.
However, that just lulled us into a full sense of security because they got bad.
When we stopped, it was like check the car because we need to walk around and check, and one of the thing come off.
Yes, I had one of the parts of the bull bar.
Yes.
There was, I think, six bolts holding it on. Yeah. 5 of them had disappeared, and the last one only had about 2 turns left, and it was hanging down. Oh gosh, I'm glad I caught it just in time. I don't know what made us stop and check, but we did. And then, of course, we checked the caravan. And what was happening in the caravan?
Well, pretty much the drawer came off, the shell came off, the clothes on the floor. So, but the microwave was okay, was still up there. So there was something that, you know, we do need to secure everything pretty much. So
the microwave was okay, it didn't come out. However, after about 2 or 3 days of driving on the corrugations, that too decided to give up the ghost. So it sort of went bzz, bzz, bzz when I tried to turn it on, and that was the end of the microwave. So I unplugged that, and we didn't use that again. So it was a slight annoyance. But yeah, so we had screws were coming out, nuts and bolts were coming loose. The roads were shocking.
Yeah, the step was not working. So one of the screws inside the step became loose. So we couldn't get that electric step working. And I just couldn't
fix it. It was not accessible. So we took that off. We were basically climbing in and out of the caravan with a huge step up and down because that was the only way we could travel. And then those things, the microwave, the steps, the cupboards and everything, that was all fixed under warranty, but that was like 4 months later. Yeah. So we made do with what we could. We repaired what we could on the road, and they did okay after that. So we, you know, lesson learned. It's an off-road caravan, but they're still not really expecting you to take it those places. Yeah. So that's the only bit that's loose at the moment, and the bit that came off. But I have the bit, and I can screw it back on again. So not a big deal.
What happened, Mark?
The nuts at the bottom of the aerial has vibrated loose, and we had an aerial was loose, so I I've taken the subby bit off the aerial. I'm just holding this on to give it a little bit of pressure, so that shouldn't fall off again now. We'll have to use the little handheld walkie-talkies for our CB radio, and we'll try and find somebody with a specialised nut socket to actually try and tighten up properly in the next town or two.
Okay.
Joys of four-wheel driving.
Corrugation.
Right, so the moment this tries to come out, but when I press it to go back in again, nothing happens. There's no clicking, there's no motor noises. I'm trying to work out what I can do to fix it. This is loose, and I think the nut at the back has come out. I'm not sure if that's the reason for anything. I can't get this off until I get access to this screw here, because there's two bolts going through. So I'm going to have to try and take off as much of this as possible.
So after that happened, actually Mark went to Bunnings when we got up from the tip. We went to Bunnings and he managed to get some metal pieces to reinforce the drawers, so it won't come up again next time.
So the roads. Now, I've done a lot of dirt road driving. I've done a lot of corrugations over the years. And I will say this is the worst I've ever driven on. We couldn't find the right speed. We couldn't find the right tire pressure. Car, caravan, it was just shocking.
Okay, so we start the corrugation road now. And at the beginning here, it's not too bad.
No, so I've jumped the pressures to about 20 psi in the car and 30 or so in the caravan. Now we're only going to go between 60 and 80 ever on dirt roads like this. If it gets much worse, we'll slow down, but that's about a nice safe speed to be travelling at. Smooths everything out. We don't hit every corrugation with a thud every time. We just sort of float a little bit on top. That's the plan.
Here we go.
So corrugations are the enemy of the four-wheel drives and caravans that come along these roads. This little stretch here, this is pretty bad. They're about this high, up, down, up, down, up, down. They just shake you to pieces. As cars go over, they create a little bit of a ridge, they flatten it, they harden it, it just gets harder and harder. So I'm not sure if you can see just how deep these are in, but it's just like little mini sand dunes.
Okay, but on the way, we see a lot of trucks. They're doing work. They're grading the road, which is, trying to make it much smooth. But because it's so many people goes there, and after a couple of weeks, the condition will go back to normal.
Yeah, which normal means diabolical. I've got a few shots somewhere. I'll show you. Like the corrugations are this deep and this far apart, and it's just bang, bang, bang. We tried different speeds, we tried different tire pressures. At times, I was down to 7 to 10 kilometers an hour. Other times you're fine driving along at 60 and 70. With hindsight, I'm putting part of the blame for our problems on the suspension. I did get the suspension replaced in the car in Townsville, but it was very harsh. It was actually heavier duty than we could get for the car. So both front and back of the car was a little bit too heavily sprung, which meant we just couldn't take the road damage out. Since we got back to Sydney, I've taken it to a company called Ultimate Suspension, who have done several of my cars over the years. They've done a great job, but it feels 100 or 200% better than it did now. So we'll find out later on the next lot of corrugations how good we go, but I think early days it feels like we're going to be a lot more comfortable and we can probably have a little bit more latitude in our speeds.
Yeah. And we also check with some traveler, and they say stay on the gutter. The gutter is much more smooth than in the middle of the road, so that's what we did, and the condition was not too bad. But sometimes we're just not able to get into the gutter because it's not that even, or not suitable for driving. But just drive to the condition and make sure that you turn on the headlights. Yes, because there's a lot of dust.
Another important safety thing that we were using was the UHF radio. So if it was really dusty in front of us and we wanted, or someone else wanted to overtake, they could call up and say, hey, is it safe to overtake? And the person at the front could say yes or no and give some advice.
We have a chip on the window. Just make sure that you've got window repair kits as well, and the tire repair kit. So that too will become very handy because there are plenty of rock there, and the opposite vehicle, if they go a bit fast, then you just pretty much will hit your window.
Yeah, it's very easy to put a crack or break a windscreen up there. The other safety thing that we used a lot on this sort of trip was our TPMS, our tire pressure monitoring system. So all of the car tires, I could see what temperatures they were, what pressures they were, and the same on the caravan. I was able to see, monitor the pressures there and temperatures there. So if we did get a slow flat, I would know about it before we actually got completely flat and the tire got destroyed. So it's a really, really useful safety feature. I can't recommend those highly enough. So we're going to go to... So these are tire deflators. So the idea is you set them to the pressure you want, you screw them onto your tire valve and it lets the air out down to that pressure, and then that should be correct, and then you take them off again.
And what did we drop the car pressure down to? 25 on the car and 30 on the caravan. Yeah. So that was doing pretty good.
We did try a few different pressures and that seemed to be what worked best. Yes. So next time once again, you monitor it, you see if the pressure goes up a bit higher than you're expecting, and then you add or decrease the pressure.
We stay in Loyalty Beach for about 3 or 4 days, and we just took our car, we leave our van at the Loyalty Beach, and we went up from Loyalty Beach to the tip, which take about 1 hour. And we just checked the timetable. The people in the caravan park are so lovely. They give you the timetable, so we found out when is the low tide, and we just leave the caravan park 1 hour before the low tide. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much just after dawn we left, I think. The thing with Cape York, the very tip, the most northern part of Australia, you have 2 ways to get there from the car park. You either walk around the beach, but you have to be there at low tide, or you walk over the top over a little bit of a hiking trail. So we did a bit of both. We got there early. We just in time, we got through as the tide was coming in, and we walked our way around to it. Did the photo ops. A pretty special place. You certainly know you're somewhere special when you're there. It just has a different feeling. And then we walked back across the top over the hill, and that was just glorious. It was really a long way to go, but worth it. I've been wanting to do it for 10 years or more, or probably 20, but I've been trying to get there for at least 10 years now and made it. Yeah. So that was been good. So Bertie has now have reached all the northerly, westerly, southerly and easterly parts of Australia, and this is the last one to tick off his bucket list if he ever wanted to go to them in the first place. And yeah, so we did that. So after we ticked off Cape York, we started heading south.
Guess where we are today?
We're at Fruitbat Falls. It is just delightful. Not a sunniest day ever, but still warm. The water's not too cold, it's beautiful. Very refreshing, yeah?
Yes, it's beautiful. You can see the little fish swimming around you.
No crocodiles.
No, look at the fish, look at the fish playing in the water.
Where did we go then?
So we went to, we stopped at Cairns, we stopped at Townsville, we stopped at every pretty spot, which is we stopped at Mission Beach, we stopped at Notch Point. Slow, slow.
We haven't done a lot of reviews of caravan parks and places we've been camping along the way, but this one's a little bit special. We're about an hour south of Airlie Beach. It's called Fruit Farm Camp, and it's just delightful. We're the only ones here. It's only $30 a night. No power, no water, but they've got toilets, they've got a camp kitchen, they've got hot showers. It's just delightful here. We're really, really happy. Love it. So why is it called Fruit Farm Camp? The guy who owns it has planted over 300 fruit trees on his property here. Apparently more than happy to give you a guided tour and a few tastings. Well worth the effort, I'm sure.
We stopped at Harvey Bay, Yapoon, Bowen, pretty much everywhere.
Where was Rainbow Beach? That's where you caught your...
Yes, we stayed in Inskip Point for a couple of days and we got a few, you know, fish.
A few?
Yeah, a few. Shisha, shisha, yeah.
Yeah, so...
You can't miss shisha.
Yeah, so I've got a little bit of vision of Shirley fishing at the wharf up at Seizure, and she catches a barracuda, and then a 2.5 metre shark catches the barracuda. So Shirley's going, ah! And then he goes, you can see it, it's swimming, and Shirley's screaming, and all a bit of excitement, and I think she put her off fishing for at least 10 minutes.
Oh, at least a day.
You still got it?
Welcome to North Point.
Have you still got it?
No, I'm going back. Thank you.
What happened there, darling?
A shark, bloody shark.
Welcome to North Queensland.
However, when we were heading back, we're at Inskip Point, just off of Ngari, Fraser Island, or Ngari. She caught herself her biggest fish ever, I think. Was that your biggest?
It was about 1 meter. What is it called? It's a giant herring.
Giant herring, yes.
Yes.
That was the biggest, a humongous fish. So that was one of the highlights of the tour. We still haven't caught our first barramundi yet, but that's to look forward to. And then we just made our way down the coast.
Yeah.
We basically fished our way down the coast, stopping here, stopping there. There's a lot of places we want to go back to. We spent a few days in Bundaberg, or actually a couple of weeks in Bundaberg at my friend's farm. He's just bought a macadamia nut farm. So we learned a whole lot about macadamia nut farming.
Yes, we have.
Up there near Bundaberg, it was a lot of macadamia nut farms, a lot of strawberry farms.
Yeah, lychee, strawberry, macadamia.
Yeah, we had some nice strawberries.
Banana. Oh,
Bananas
it's one of my best part is visit all those farms.
Yeah.
And yeah, we love it, we love it. Pineapple farm, just so nice.
Where we stopped on the side of the road, it was a box of melons. They're all about this big.
$5 a box.
How many in the box?
About 10 million.
We're giving them out to everyone when we're at the campsite. And then another highlight, or one for me, was we went to the Bundaberg distillery in Bundaberg, so Bundaberg rum. We did the tour and had a couple of sips of Bundaberg at the end. That was pretty cool.
Yes.
Definitely recommended, and I learned a bunch of stuff about the rum there, so I'm glad that we did that. And then, yeah, we just came back, made our way back to Sydney, and here we are. We're just doing a few repairs, some warranty work. We have caught up with friends and family, and soon, in the next couple of weeks, we're heading off west to our next big adventure. So we'll talk about that in the next video of our travels, and that's about it.
Yes. Hope that you enjoyed the video. Our video, the previous one as well, is quite a few things happen. So we totally out of our expectation actually, but it's just part of life. The thing happen without you notice or without you, we just need to deal with it.
Yeah. So all in all, it was a 6-month trip. We had the hiccup in the middle, which we lost 6 to 8 weeks probably. In travel time, so that was a little bit unexpected, obviously. But we came out of it stronger and better than we did before, and ready for the next trip.
Yes, we're glad to share the experience with you.
Yeah, so we hope you enjoyed this video. The usual thing is, of course, like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.